To SNC Custom Designs, where we are going to make a bandsaw box. We're giving them away. We're going to give a couple of those guys away for you folks that are helping us to get the word out. That we need to get to 1,000 subscribers by February 20th. So why not watch us make a bandsaw box? This is just a chunk of wood. They're sending us free pens now. I don't mind. All right. So here's the block of wood that we have. It was just lying over there with several other pieces of block 4x4. And boy, doesn't that speak to you? Look how beautiful that is. Look at that knot. So I want to definitely keep that knot in the picture. So I think that should be definitely on the top. So we're going to basically, when you're doing these boxes, what you need to do is you need to cut the top off, the bottom off, and the back for most of the styles. I mean, there's so many styles, and that'll dictate what you're going to be cutting. So look, you can just do this freehand. This is definitely not rocket science. So it's a little scary when you first start doing bandsaw boxes. You're like, oh no world, what are those steps again? Okay, so you're going to want to mark what you're doing here. So this is the top. This is going to be the bottom. Okay. Now some tips that I can share with you for my learning curve here is don't get all kinds of fancy with swirly curves and this type of thing when you're cutting them out. That could be fun when you're cutting it out on the bandsaw, right? But then when you have to sand those pieces, first of all, you're thinking, what am I going to sand it with? You know, you find that you're in the market for different types of rasps, concave and every other shape. Okay, so again, so here we go, top, and this is the back. Okay, so without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, the tip is you want to definitely make sure you loosen your bandsaw blade. Now I forget, I lost track of how many times, but the more I think about that, the more I'm going to do that. Okay. All right, here we go, folks. I'm going to leave the dust collection system off. Yes, you should have that on. This is a jet that gets filtered down to 5 microns. It's a pretty good deal. I love this thing. Still got my original bags. Guess I'm kind of cheap. My other bags are in there unused, and I got duct taped them. This first one. All right, folks, let's go. Let's do it. Now the beauty of bandsaw boxes is that they're basically going to go back the way they came apart. All right, so basically you could just turn the grain until you find where it came from. See, that's kind of like where that came from. So isn't that cool? That's a cool no. All right. Do the same for this one. Let's have a look and see if that's looking good. All right. Okay, probably like this. And then we cut the back off. So the back is going to be either this way or that way. And there you go. So now you're getting an idea how this is working, right? So here's our box, top, bottom, and back. So what I'm going to do now is, you saw that I was a little disoriented, right? Because I wasn't sure what was the front and what was the back. I should have marked that. And you can't mark things enough sometimes, right? You just can't. It's easy to get disoriented. So let's take the top off, the bottom, and the back. Okay, now what are we looking at? We need to put this box into here. This is going to be your drawer. So you're going to cut out your drawer. That's going to go in there. Okay. So, that being said, we need to cut the sides of the unit off of the drawer. Okay, so we're going to mark this guy like so. Okay, this is going to be the okay, so something like this so far. Back. And now these are going to be the sides of the box. We'll glue those all things, and then we're going to have this will be our drawer. Okay, so let's one step at a time. Put this back down here, this here, and let's go. Alright, so now we've got these pieces marked out. Now comes the fun part. We need to hollow this guy out in whatever fashion that you want to do that. Remember what I said earlier, that you don't want to get carried away with doing all kinds of swirlies. And I've done a few. I've done a few of those, and I could show you just exactly what I'm talking about when I finish this box. Okay, so now this is where the stuff's going to go. Without further ado, so what I'm going to do is probably try to round off near the bottom there. Let's make this a little bit tighter down here, like so, and let's get to work. I wanted to pause because I wanted to talk about that turn I just made. You just slow down when you start doing these turns, okay? If you slow down and then just incrementally make that turn at the sharpest point of the turn, it's going to be just fine, okay? So that being said, I'm going to get back in there again. If only I knew how to press stop. Okay, and voila, get out. Let's start putting the box back together. Okay, we got a top, we got a bottom. This would be the bottom. Something like this. Okay, we have a back. We have a back. Okay. And then we have sides. Okay, this is the right. And then we have this side here. So there you go. We just made a bandsaw box. There's so many ways to do this, my friends. So many ways. Okay, and each one can have their individuality, so on and so forth. So we'll call this one thinking outside the box, pun intended. All right, so there we go. This will be a very interesting box. This is not your normal type of bandsaw box, because first of all, it doesn't have a front and a back to it. Okay, it doesn't have a front and a back to it. Usually, when you're designing these things, you're going to figure that into the project to cut the front and the back off, so on and so forth. But you know what? I like just doing things on the fly to see where we're going to end up in that journey. So watch for the future videos for this. Again, I thought I would do this just for fun, because we are, after all, we're going to be giving away a couple of bandsaw boxes for those who are helping us get to 1,000 subscribers. We have a very short period of time to do that. But so here's some other styles of bandsaw boxes if you haven't seen my channels on these. Okay, every time I do one, I do something a little bit different, okay? So for example, and I just sold one of these, a couple of these, and I thought, what can I do different? This is still in its rough, my friends. But look, it doesn't have a back. I decided the back that was on there to cut this out like this. I think that adds some character to this guy. Okay, so that's that one. Then I made, to date, the biggest style for this guy. Okay, so here's yet another style. Same style, sorry. And yeah, so there you go. Look how beautiful. Look at the nuts, the grain. I'll tell you what, looks like I should have made that in the front, but there you go. So here's one with a back on it, okay? This one here has no back or front onto it. So we'll see what we end up doing. So that's that guy. You've seen these styles here. These are not my design. A gentleman, you look it up on YouTube. I'm sorry, I don't remember his name, but he's like, just download my pattern and use it. Just tell me that you're doing that. And so that's kind of like how I roll. I'm not in it to make money everywhere, at least not at the moment. I'm just having fun in the journey. Look at these different styles. Okay, this was one day I'm like, what can I do different? I don't know if that's Speed Racer's dream right there. And here's what I was talking about a little bit earlier when we were over there. So don't get crazy with these swirlies, because you're going to have to sand those swirlies. You know, and that can really increase your time. Look at this one here. I just put this handle on the other day to this. This here is African paddock. It's all dusty now, but oh man, this is beautiful. Some more African paddock faced off the drawer. Did a mirror image on the top. There's a plain one. Look, I burned that one before I stained it with a heat gun. Look at the different styles that we got going on here. It's just so much fun, my friends. So that's where we are. Again, this is for a customer that wants really long, 19-inch. This is going to be going under the sewing table. The customer wants to put rulers and things like that, and various other items. Each has a specific job. So these basically will be bandsaw boxes secured underneath the front of the sewing table. Look for those series that will come up. I made the sewing table for this customer who happens to be my wife several years ago, and this sewing table is amazing. It's her height. Everything is custom made around her as an individual. So that was a lot of fun. And the whole journey of just getting there, I love to just stop what I'm doing and get the camera out and start videoing. Say, this is how we did this part of this project. This is how we did part of that project. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching again. Take care. Once again, subscribe to our channel. Click the bell to be reminded of new videos. Oh, sorry, I'm not even looking. New videos that come up. And subscribe and share with your friends the link so you can help us get there. Nobody looking forward more than me to stop my campaign, but we'll enjoy the journey, okay? Thanks again for watching and coming into my shop. Let's go back over here. This is where we started, and so let's end here. Take care and God bless.